So, you finished Shin Megami Tensei If's Reiko, Yumi, or Charlie Route, or watched someone doing that. I don't know. The game is old and people tend to watch weirdos like me playing through games like that to be able to experience them. In any case, you finished one of the 3 routes, or even all of them, and decided to put the game down, thinking that you're finished with it. But let me tell you, there's one more thing to do in the game. A secret 4th route, only accessible if you finish the game at least once. Let me introduce you to Akira Miyamoto's 4th route, exclusive to New Game Plus, featuring an entire new game. Yes, you heard me right. An entire new game with a completely different and unique dungeon, not seen in the other routes. In this video, I will be covering all of Akira's route. I already covered SMT If's normal routes, which you can watch over here, where I covered the game and its mechanics. As such, I will not re-explain mechanics as I already explained them before. That said, before we start with Akira's route, I want to talk about the different versions of SMT If, as I haven't done that before. Similar to SMT 1 and 2, If also received a PlayStation port, featuring many improvements such as updated graphics and smoother movement. You can now store up to 99 items of each type instead of just 9. The inclusion of weapons that level up to you if you use them enough, extra bonuses if you have a save file of other Atlas titles on your PlayStation memory card, and the addition of an easy difficulty, which reduces damage taken by 20%, escaping battles will always work on the 4th attempt, ammunition is infinite, and the World of Sloth progresses twice as fast. Sadly, the PlayStation version, similar to Shin Megami Tensei 2, does not have English translation available at the time of making this video. With that out of the way, let's start with Akira's route. The game opens as before with us picking a gender, answering a couple of questions that decide starting stats, listen to Hazuma's yapping, and wake up with us getting warped into a different world. We again decline Yumi's invite to find an escape out of school, and collect the equipment from all the other club rooms. With that done, we can head to the west side of the 1st floor where we encounter a new kid. He asks us what happened to the school and introduces himself. This is Akira Miyamoto, an infamous delinquent of the school. He has a lead to get out of school, so let's team up with him. He mentions how there's a manhole we can use in a janitor's room. With him in our party, it is time to equip ourselves, defeat the demon in front of the PC room, head to our teacher for the ARM PC so we can use the demon summoning program, and head for the janitor room. The janitor greets us and invites us over to some tea to relax. He also asks Akira again if he wants to pick up boxing, as he thinks that he's champion material. Maybe in another world, Akira would have become an opponent for Rocky. Akira asks the janitor to open the manhole, and with that, we jump down the hole. Instead of leaving school, our character and Akira find themselves in a new unknown place. We can explore this tiny area, and after a bit, Hazuma appears. He is shocked that someone made it into this place. Akira confronts Hazuma, saying that he never allowed Hazuma to boss him around. But things changed, and Hazuma now gives the commands as he is the Demon Emperor, and we are in his world, the Expanse. Akira gets pissed off, and Hazuma decides to attack us, but leaves us at the brink of death to make us suffer. With that, we pass out and wake up again with a demon named Amon appearing in front of us. Amon explains that Hazuma summoned many demons to conquer this place, to become the Demon Emperor. No demon was able to resist his commands. Hazuma was afraid of Amon for some reason, and decided to remove his soul from his body and seal the soul in this place. He recognizes the strength of Akira and his soul, and decides to ally with us by possessing Akira's body. With that, Akira's appearance changes, and he gets a +1 on all stats. He is now a changed person, being both Akira and Amon at the same time, while also looking like Devilman. He also obtained Amon's memories, and is now able to explain where we are. This is the basement of the Tower of Confinement. Hazuma was somehow able to link this world with the human world, entered it, and became the Demon Emperor. The tower itself is encased in some magic field that makes everyone unable to leave this place. Hazuma is on top of this tower, so this is our goal. With that, we can head towards the locked gate, and Akira just rips it open thanks to his new powers. Hazuma also confined other demons inside of the basement, and that they might lend us their help. With that, we are finally able to explore the first few floors of the Tower of Confinement. We are currently in the Normos of Earth, which basically acts as the basement of the tower. This area is 10 floors deep and relatively simple. Akira's route does not have a hub or proper towns like the other routes had, which makes things a bit tricky. Further into the tower, we can find a place to save in here. We remember Zenki and Goki from Shin Megami Tensei 1? They are back, stuck in here too, offering the same services as in Shin Megami Tensei 1 and allow us to heal and save. Enemies give a rather high amount of XP, so I recommend grinding at least 20 or so levels for both the protagonist and Akira, by giving Akira at the very least around 12 strength or intelligence. This will come in handy later. With that out of the way, we can explore the tower base run a bit more, recruiting new demons and find shops where we can stock up on new gear. There isn't much going on here besides some trapdoors, so exploration is rather simple. On the 6th basement floor we can find another prison cell with a couple of jars containing loot. One jar is interesting to us, as it has the demon Sebek imprisoned in it. He got put in here by Hazama as well, and wants revenge on him. Sebek notices us and thinks that we work for Hazama, but we're able to talk to him thanks to Akira having Amon's soul within him. He tells Sebek that it's him, Amon, albeit in a weaker state. Sebek initially doesn't believe him, as Amon never liked possessing humans, but desperate times require desperate measures. Akira invites Sebek to join us, but Sebek wants to see proof that it's actually Amon, so he wants to fight. Or so I thought. Amon tells Sebek that he needs his help, even if he has to drag his dead body around. He recognizes Amon's confident voice now thanks to Akira having enough strength, and decides to join us. Sebek is a level 25 demon and we can use him even if we are below his level. This will be a great power boost. With Sebek in our party, we can head now to the 4th basement floor, where we find another prison cell. If we enter this one on a new moon, we can find a demon Hathor, who recognizes Amon right away. She lost her sanity in this tower while the moon is shining, but during a new moon she's able to think normally. With that she joins us, giving us one of the best healers and damage dealers for a very long time. Hathor is level 38 and can cast Miyama for a party-wide heal and Megiddo for some decent almighty damage that hits all enemies, while also having a massive amount of MP. I was at roughly level 25 for recruiting her, so this is a huge power boost. With her we can further explore the tower and head towards the 2nd basement floor, where we can find a blue key and yet another prison cell. With Sebek and Hathor summoned, entering the cell allows us to recruit Thoth. Akira explains that he is more of the suspicious and paranoid type. Thoth doesn't believe that he is Amon, but Sebek and Hathor luckily vouch for us, telling him that he is the real Amon. With that, Thoth joins us as well. He's level 42 and has Zundyne, a powerful wind spell with him. With him recruited and a blue key in our hand, we can finally continue on towards our first boss fight, Apollo. Here's something interesting about Akira's route. This one features a special theme for boss fights. Listen to this. Apollo is a rather easy boss thanks to our overpowered party. Just cast Zundyne with Thoth, heal if needed with Hathor, and attack with the rest of the party until Apollo goes down. With that, we can finally move on and enter the first Normos. Sadly, there's no fancy transition between areas going on like in the other routes. This place is rather short and has a lot of dark tiles. Luckily, Hathor can easily carry him. On the final floor, we enter the first and only town of Akira's route, but due to the demon Bushiasta, everyone fell asleep, so we can't use the shops yet. Lucky for us, the ferry fountain is still usable, so we can at least heal. Further into the town, we can finally find Bushiasta, who's going to be our first break wall. I grinded out a ton of XP, got new demons and guardians, and headed into the fight. She can debuff the party, steal magic, deal a lot of physical damage, and inflict paralysis. I recommend at least one party member to cast Tarukaja to increase damage, and one with Rakunda to lower the boss's defense. The boss already has a whopping 5050 HP, which at this point of the game is a lot, and will take a while, even with a good setup, but she eventually goes down and the town wakes up. Now there aren't any random encounters anymore, and we can do a few things in town. First, we can head to the village elder, thanking us for what he did. He gives us a special gun as a thanks. Second, we can go to the casino and grind out some chips to buy a really good armor set and some decent weapons. And third and last, head to the weapon shop to buy new ammunition. With everything done, we can enter the second Normos. The second Normos is a rather simplistic dungeon, albeit with a weird gimmick. Each floor is split into two halves with two staircases. Each half is split by a dark room where a mysterious bell can appear. Bell wants you to close your eyes. Doing so can curse your party members. The curse can fail if lucky, but it's not something worth risking your life over. That said, Bell sometimes doesn't appear and you can just pass through without a problem. Enemy encounters luckily aren't super dangerous here, but I recommend having some bullets that inflict status effects to reduce the risk. At the very top, we can encounter next boss Route. Personally, I think this boss is the hardest one in the entire game. Route has a whopping 8000 HP. In comparison to the normal routes in the game, Lilith, a boss at around the same level, only has a pathetic 900 HP. Route is immune to all the attacks, and takes reduced damage from ice and electricity. What makes Route so incredibly dangerous is the fact that you can charm party members and inflict the fly status effect. Allies turned into flies have their stats reduced and are weak to instant kill spells. And if that isn't enough, Route is also able to cast Mudun, an instant kill spell. This fight is rough and in all honesty requires a lot of luck. On a lot of my attempts I almost had her down but got hit by instant kill spells. But with enough preparation, buffs and luck, eventually she goes down and we can move on to the third Normos. The third Normos is probably the biggest dungeon in SMT If, but also a rather simple one and in all honesty oversized area. The enemies here are luckily not that dangerous and give a ton of XP, so I recommend grinding out some. I leveled up from around 30 to roughly 50 without much struggle and got some decent demons. What makes this dungeon challenging is its multiple staircases often leading into dead ends and the occasional teleporter tiles. Throughout the dungeon, Akira mentions how something doesn't feel right, that there's something wrong with the demon who is in charge here. Before we can move on, we have to find the white key. This one allows us to open the gate of the terrace that blocks us off from the boss in this area. Past that gate, Akira now finally knows what he was feeling throughout the dungeon. He felt the presence of Amon, or well, what's left of the physical shell of Amon. Something has taken control of Amon's body. Going into the boss fight, we learn that Mmon took it over. He recognizes Amon in Akira's body, and Akira challenges him into a fight, to find out if Mmon can control the power of Amon's body. Mmon has a whopping 12,000 HP, making this fight incredibly tedious. Mmon can cast heavy force spells, a lot of heavy physical damage that can inflict bind, remove buffs and debuffs, has a skill called Large Beheading. Reading this one for the first time made me laugh a bit, which can instantly kill a party member, and Vile Fang, an ability that damages HP as well as MP of the entire party. This ability is what makes the boss fight scary. The fight on paper is incredibly tedious, but there's a simple way of dealing with it. You can recruit a Cerberus and Vampire in the third Normos. Put Cerberus in the background and cast Power Breath, which buffs all allies attack and evasion, and cast Tetrarchana with Vampire in every turn. This will shield against physical attacks for one turn for the entire party. Vampire has a big pool of MP that will last for the entire fight, allowing to basically avoid any MP draining attacks and most of Mmon's damage. Just spam physical attacks with the rest of the party, and after a long time, Mmon goes down. With Mmon's defeat, Akira grows in power and changes his appearance again, becoming even more demonic in appearance. This also increases all of his stats by 2. With that, Akira obtained all of Amon's powers and is now at full strength. With that, we are ready to head towards Hazama. Akira is somewhat disturbed how quickly we grew in power, but it's fine to him as it allows us to face Hazama. Before we move on towards the first Normos, there's one more thing we can do. Close to the boss room on a full moon, we can now enter one warp tile. This one ends up sending us into a different room than it used to before killing the boss, allowing us to find the Hino Kagetsuchi. In Akira's route, we can just pull it as long as either our main character or Akira has 25 strength and vitality. With this, we can finally move on towards the fourth Normos. The fourth Normos is rather simple, opening with a massive open door with a couple of teleporters that allow us to get more quickly to the shops where we can pick up dark bullets and other gear. When properly geared up, we can move on to the next floor where we encounter Hazama again. He is impressed that we made it that far and invites us to find him, but he doubts that we get past the great Drake Azidahag that is running rampant here. Here we encounter my least favorite gimmick again, tiles and floors where we can't open the com and access the map. This goes through the entire 4th Normos, paired with dark tiles. I honestly don't even think that the gimmick is hard and more just annoying, as it makes exploration less difficult and more just tedious and confusing. In any case, halfway to the 4th Normos we can find Dahak. This fight at this point of the game is very easy. It mainly deals elemental damage and poison, but nothing super serious. With the Hino Kagetsuchi and some buffs, the boss goes down rather quickly. I'm honestly surprised how the later bosses use less and less status effects to make things harder. With Dahak down, we can move on and explore the second half of the dungeon that is mainly consisting of teleporters and walls that are passable from one specific way. At the end, we can find a staircase leading us into the Normos of Heaven, a final area of the game. The Normos of Heaven is a really short dungeon without any shops or healing, so if you need to heal your demons, you have to go all the way back. Humans at least can heal through level ups. The Normos of Heaven again has a lot of dark tiles and areas where we can't use our map, paired with teleporters and some of the strongest enemies in the game. At the very top on floor 37, we can finally find Hazama. With that I can finally say how tall the tower is. Including the basement, the Tower of Confinement is a whopping 47 floors. Inside the final room, we meet Hazama again. He congratulates us for getting here, having climbed up all the way from the bottom. Akira, annoyed at Hazama, yells at him that he's going to pay him back, both as Akira and Amon. Hazama states that he can't be defeated and transforms into the Demon Emperor. This fight is similar to a normal fight, albeit on a higher level, but is overall really simple thanks to Akira's immense power. Just apply a couple of buffs, spam physical attacks with the Hino Kagetsuchi, heal if needed, and that's about it. I was honestly surprised with how quick Hazama went down. With that we're proven that Akira and Amon combined are an absolute chad. Hazama lies on the floor defeated, yelling that he's done with the tower and that we can take it. With that he simply just disappears. Akira, now standing in front of us, initially only wanting to defeat Hazama, now decides to stay at the tower, as it's otherwise without a ruler getting drawn back into the expanse. Akira, now more demon than human, has to stay back at the expanse. With that, he sends us back to the human world, as we don't belong here. We wake up in front of a crater where once our school stood. A student shows up, telling us that he heard a big explosion right after he came back home. A lot of people are still missing. They are still stuck in the expanse until the end of their life. Officials say that the school got caught up in a gas leak, but over time people forgot about that. Did the students in the expanse turn into demons, or did they die? Is Hazama still terrorizing the expanse, or did we defeat him? We will never find out. Those like us, knowing about demons potentially returning into our world, live life without any hope left, as they know that if the human and demon world meet again, that the world is doomed. Not if, when. With that we finished Shin Megami Tensei If's Akira Route. SMT If is a very interesting game featuring a focus on gameplay and having a light albeit very dark story. I honestly really enjoyed playing through the Akira Route and I had the most fun with that one. I think SMT If is a rough game, all things considered, and more for the die-hard fans of the series, or fans of SNES style dungeon crawlers. I'm glad to have made this experience and I think it's worth taking a look at. SNES dungeon crawlers are a unique form of JRPGs that aren't for everyone, and truth be told, I was a bit drained by the time I got halfway through Akira's Route. There are many things I think the game could have done better, but with the game only having been in development for less than a year, it's honestly impressive how well made and thought out the dungeons are, with the exception of the Domain of Sloth. SMT tried a lot of things new to the series, including the ability to pick a genre, something SMT didn't do again really. With that said, thank you so much for watching and sitting through this journey through SMT If with me. Working on projects like this is a ton of fun and I'm glad to be able to share games like this with you all. If you're interested, I have a Twitch where I stream 5 times a week and on Twitter where I tweet dumb stuff. We also have a Discord where I say dumb things. But in any case, I hope you enjoyed the video, and until the next one, bye for now.